I have to explain to people that, like, my experience keeping up to date on gaming news is mostly a few people that I happen to watch and a few things that I happen to look up, and sometimes things catch my fancy. And the one thing that came up immediately about current events was actually more or less just a think piece, but it was from Kotaku, and it was about Roblox kind of being shady in its in its monetary practices. But I have to tell you, that doesn't really seem like news to me.
Yeah, I mean, Roblox is just kind of shady in general.
Yeah, I can appreciate that somebody wanted to do an article about it, about how, you know, it's like a multi-billion, what is it, it's a $45 billion company, Roblox.
Yes.
And I'm sure a lot of that is related to the website and how absolute, you know, how many games are part of Roblox right now.
Well, it's because people can go in there and create their own worlds and games and all of that.
Yeah. Of course, I think that the thing that the Luke Plunkett article was mostly talking about is that Roblox is kind of promising kids that they could earn serious cash from the game, and maybe they're thinking because if you're a creator of one, you know, you can get paid for the creation. But frankly, the idea that you're going to do that is very few and far between. What they mention in the article, at least, is that they probably won't pay you anything unless that particular game mode makes like over $1,000. So right away, you're kind of limiting the number of creators that are really going to be getting any kind of payment from it. And just the whole Robux situation and everything for me, I never really saw it as more than a cash cow anyway, which, you know, good for them, but I had my own experiences with Roblox. I don't know if you've ever played anything on it.
I have not, but my son does like to play some Roblox stuff.
Yeah, and so does my cousin. She when the last time she came over, she was like, "Let's play some Roblox," and I'm like, "Why?" And she was like, "We'll play this game. It's like the pet one where you go around this world and you get the pets and you have the parrot or whatever." And I'm sitting there like, this is the most boring stuff I have experienced. But I had tried some games beforehand. I tried it out when I did that free-to-play marathon a few years back.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I'll see. Maybe I can link the video when we do this, because that was a fun one. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, I did. I played some of them. They were all sort of like they felt very samey. Most of them. There was the one where you do the snow plowing. You just plow all the snow in the village. All right, cool. There's the one where you sift through sand to see if you can get gold, and there was one where you know, knock a bunch of blocks down, see how far down you can get, and it's like, yeah, that's fun. And my head kept getting bigger for some reason. No one could explain.
All right.
I think that.
I mean, on the other end, Roblox has some pretty shady stuff in there that are like adults playing it.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
To talk to children,
yeah,
which is really not okay. And then another one that I've heard on YouTube videos about are like full-blown cults.
Oh yeah.
Kind of stuff going on in there.
Well,
and it's like, what even?
You know, the thing about it is, if you create this like open source game where anyone can make a game and there's like no real regulation or like people, there's not a lot of people checking on this stuff, you're bound to get some cases that are a little less than savory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little wild.
It is wild. It's probably the reason why I have not gotten into it very much, and I usually...
Yeah, that's the sole reason you haven't gotten into Roblox, Nathan. It's not because the game looks like crap.
Yeah, it's not that it plays terrible. I tried so many different kinds of games just to see what the appeal was, and every single time I was like, this feels like a worse a much worse version of something else I've probably played at some point.
Yeah, that's about what it is. On the flip side, on the other side of things, I will say the one good thing ever to come out of Roblox would be that the origin of oof is actually in Roblox.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That's that's the death sound. When they die, they go oof.
Oh, okay. So that's Roblox. Okay.
That's Roblox. That's where that came from. So that's where all the oof,
right,
which has just become a staple of everybody's vernacular by now.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where I never really encourage people to play Roblox, and I usually try to discourage kids, especially from playing Roblox, because I don't think it's not really a friendly place to be most of the time, and it's probably going to give you some disillusionment. I think the big thing, though, that always bothered me was the premium currency part of it, which is kind of like the, pay-to-win sort of model, where depending on who's building what, since anybody can build whatever they want, if you're saying, like, oh, here's like the snow plow that's going to make the snow blowing way easier, but you have to pay the premium currency in this specific game for this specific thing, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a nightmare in terms of getting kids to shell out a lot of cash that they might not have.
Yeah, microtransactions within microtransactions.
Yeah, it's microtransaction-ception, and I think that was one of the big problems that I saw right away, but now, like they're talking about with the creators and some of the things that you mentioned from videos you've been watching, it makes me even less savory. So next time, if she comes over and she wants to play the Roblox again, I gotta just, like, apparently stay with her the entire time. I'm not gonna leave her alone in there.
I generally just, when I have my kid, I'm like, hey, wanna just play Minecraft Dungeons? Because, you can't even chat in that.
No, you can't.
This is a limited chat system.
This is really the best case for single-player campaigns. No jerks.
I mean,
or other
you'll
people.
still have jerks in role-playing games. They're just the NPCs.
I think I prefer my jerks to be scripted in-game.
Depends on the game, but yeah.
Okay, maybe not completely scripted, because, we'll talk about that in a later segment. But at any rate, so that was the thing that I just had, but I don't really feel like that's news, so to speak, that Roblox has shady business practices.
It's interesting to discuss.
Sure.
As a thing, especially where we're not just focused on tabletop anymore, so we can do that.
Oh yeah, we have games in all different forms and fashions now that we're discussing, so it's a good thing to note.
On that note too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's kind of weird you don't see more of that kind of microtransaction type economy in tabletop gaming, but at the same time, CCGs exist.
Yeah. Which, it is a physical thing that you get with the collectible card games. If you're not familiar, that's what CCG is.
Or TCG, trading card games.
Or trading card games. Congratulations, we're a learning channel now. Anyway, more you know, and bye. But you do get a physical thing, but it is in many ways the same kind of mechanics, and they were talking about this when it went to, like, Congress, about the idea that this is essentially like gambling mechanics of some the prize boxes that you would get, where it's random.
Loot boxes.
The loot boxes, yeah.
I mean,
surprise mechanics.
The difference between a loot box and, say, a booster pack of Magic the Gathering isn't really a big difference.
No.
You get real world product and you can make real world money from Magic the Gathering, and I guess with some games that offer loot boxes you can, like CSGO, make real world money on the skins in that, but that's about it. A lot of other games items that you cannot trade or do anything else with that you get. So
Right. Yeah, so there is that if you were looking for, I guess, the physical, the analog version, I suppose, of, like, the loot box mechanics. But in terms of the pay-to-win mechanics, I don't know if it's really pay-to-win, but I have seen, like, maybe, like, the downloadable PDF versions of different, like, role-playing games and stuff where they'll add different content, and maybe it's downloadable content. Either, you know, here's the new species that we created for the game or something, and some of them are kind of powerful. And then that's like another transaction on top of the normal game. Add-ons, you can actually kind of see that with different settings that get created for games and stuff like that, but I don't really feel like those are necessarily as egregious as the horse armor, so to speak.
no, because add-ons you're getting like an actual game to play
Right.
for content in a lot of cases.
Yeah. Now, here's a question that I have for you. Aren't you so thrilled?
No.
But but do you think the reason why Tabletop doesn't really have the same problem with the microtransactions is because so much of it is user generated?
A lot of it probably comes from that, because you can go on to like DM's Guild and
Right.
get either very low cost or no cost content, or you can create your own content and that is generally free,
Right.
or you can borrow content, again, like you said, find free PDFs.
Mm-hmm.
So either it's low or no cost a lot of the time, and I think that's one reason. The other thing on that too is like the people that play like your CCGs, Magic the Gathering, who want to go out of their way to buy really powerful cards and combos and stuff for their decks,
Yeah.
generally have sunk a metric ton of money into the game anyways.
Yes.
So to them, it's probably, you know, a return investment because they get to win in their games potentially because they're buying power cards that cost $800.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I keep thinking to myself that, like, with a video game, like, as much as I like video games, they really are created and then distributed off to you. And with tabletop games, a lot of it is created kind of on the fly with the people that are playing it, especially with, like, role-playing games. So trying to sell people the solution to the problem that we created is a lot harder with a tabletop setting than with a video game.
I think it's also when you have like a pay to win mechanic in a competitive game, it then becomes it's I'm not sure exactly what to call it. It's kind of like where it takes care of itself, because the people that are paying to win are usually going to be ending up in brackets against people that are paying to win.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, because it's like, I'm doing really good. Everyone else that's doing really good is either actually good or also paying to win.
Yeah. No, you just
and I don't
paid
think
enough.
you see that in tabletop so much because it's not really about winning as often.
Right.
Like Magic and that are to a degree if you play in tournaments,
Mm.
but generally if you're playing with people that, you know, you're still on equal ground a
Mm.
lot of the times because there's chance involved.
Right. Right.
So even if you buy all these power cards, someone else can have a deck that just outperforms or is just a great counter to what you have. There's balances to that.
Yeah. Yeah. There certainly is. At some point, we might have to do a little bit of a mini-series about evil mechanics, which which is all about the ideas of different kinds of loot boxes, microtransactions, and the other kind of more shady business practices that have been going on.
Horse armor.
Horse armor.
Horse armor.
You know, though, the great thing about it is that when they got to Fallout 4 and they actually made something that was free in the Creation Club where you could actually do a quest to get the horse armor. Did you ever do that?
No, I didn't.
No.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did. The Giddy Up Buttercup. You know how they have the part. They made an armor out of the Giddy Up Buttercup pieces.
That's great.
And
is it power armor?
It is. It's a power armor suit. And
That's great.
it's terrific. And Bethesda was like, Yeah, okay, we're gonna own up to this. So here is just a free thing on the Creation Club, and you can just, now you can have a little mission where you go and get the horse armor.
That is pretty great. I do love one of the creations for Skyrim.
Oh yeah.
That is the monocled and top-hatted mud crabs.
Oh my goodness, yes. That's terrific.
And then the ones that swear at you as well. Those are great.
Oh yeah, I love the mud crabs. Mud crabs are always so much fun. I remember back when they had Morrowind and they had the one mud crab that you could trade like 10,000 gold to on a daily basis.
Jeez.
And it would just buy things at like retail pricing for you. you just buy it. I'm actually gonna see if I can throw out a picture for you for the Fallout 4 horse armor because it is terrific and it's not like a long mission for you to go on, but it is fascinating. I at least I was just gonna say I at least appreciate that they tried to do something to admit that this was a terrible idea and we probably shouldn't have done it. Here we go.
Yeah,
There you
that's fine.
There. Now you can see the horse armor. There you go. There's the
I
horse
hate it.
armor.
Oh my goodness.
There's your horse armor. You can enjoy that.
Wow.
Yep. They did it.
You know, I didn't really use power armor a lot in Fallout 4 when I played it.
No, I didn't.
Because it was just easier on foot.
Right.
Although I figure if you're doing a melee build, power armor might be really fun.
Oh yeah, because you can do like pain train and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's very useful. Anyway, so let's move on.
Sure.
We're getting
Move on from Buttercup.
getting up Buttercup armor.
Giddy up Buttercup. Thank you.
Let's move on from that.